Have you considered trying vagal nerve stimulation for your ME-CFS or long COVID, but perhaps you're worried about the side effects or what kind of protocol you should actually use? My name is Patrick Ussher. I'm an ME-CFS patient and author of the book Understanding ME-CFS and Strategies for Healing. And today I am talking to Dr. Courtney Craig, who has spent most of her professional, academic and personal life learning about and dealing with ME-CFS. And today Dr. Craig will be sharing with us her experience of using a vagal nerve stimulator, in particular the nurosym or parasym device, and exactly what symptoms it has helped with. But she'll be also telling us how it didn't really work out very well at the beginning, and she had to adapt her protocol in order to avoid significant side effects. So listen on in order to learn how Courtney's quality of life improved having been using this device, but also the modifications she had to make in order to be able to tolerate it. Now, before we get going, I'd like to mention that Dr. Craig is offering viewers of this channel 15% off her video courses on nutrition and ME-CFS. That's a pure discount code, it's not an affiliate link. Please check out the details in the description box below.
The other major tool in my toolbox is the vagal nerve stimulator. So that brings us back to the chronic pain. So I was still, the LDN helped a lot with the chronic pain related to the post-exertional malaise, but I was still kind of starting to have like daily myofascial pain. So that was really interfering with my ability to work, chronic pains, working at my desk all the time, chronic back pain. So that's when I thought, let me try some other things. So I found the vagal nerve stimulator, and I also started using the sauna, and both of those things together helped a lot with the myofascial pain. And I know you want to talk about vagal nerve stimulation.
Yeah, I'd love to ask you more about that. So tell us, which device do you use and how long would you use it for? And it helps you with the myofascial pain, but tell us about what else it does for you.
Yeah, so I'm here in Germany, so I'm using devices that are available in Europe. So the one that I chose is the nurosym, although it's now available in the US. Recently, it's now available there. So this is an external ear stimulator I started using it. And the company doesn't really give you any instructions on how to use it, which they really should. When you get the manual, it doesn't say, oh, this is the protocol you should use. So I went to the literature, and we don't have many trials here, but there's like one or two for ME-CFS using this or a similar device. And I think it was like 30-minute session using this device. Now, this device probably is not the same one I have, so there's two things you can adjust, right? You can adjust the time and you can also adjust the power. So in the literature, it doesn't tell you exactly what the power of the device is. So that I just 30 minutes, let me try that. So that's where I started with this, and whoa, boy, did it make me a lot worse. So much worse. Pretty quickly. I think I used it maybe 3 days, just one time a day, 30 minutes. And my symptoms got so much worse. I had extreme fatigue. I had incredible digestive distress. That was shocking, how it affected that. But it makes sense because the vagus nerve affects all of our organ systems. So overstimulating it can cause all sorts of detrimental effects. And in fact, it can be very dangerous. The surgically implanted ones have to be very, very carefully programmed because if it's too high, it can actually kill you. So you don't want to overstimulate your vagus nerve too much. I don't think these devices are necessarily deadly, but they should be used very carefully.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, most of them are FDA approved, or the EMA approved. So generally recognized as safe, but I really wish some of these companies would focus a bit more on these risks because, people are overzealous. Oh, let me just turn it up more and let me use it more often and see what happens. More is always better, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, absolutely. You're quite right to mention that. And that's such a dramatic reaction you had. I've tried the nurosym as well, and it made my shoulders feel more relaxed. And otherwise, it did nothing at all. It was just a kind of relaxer. And I did it for about 6 weeks. I don't know if that's long enough. I just wasn't feeling like it was progressing into anything more obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think that's enough time. And most of these companies give you like a 30-day trial period, with the intention that, yeah, you should notice something pretty quickly. So what I did is I wanted to also make sure that that was the device that was causing this and not something else in my life, or I had some sort of stomach bug or something like that. So I took it away for a week and then I reintroduced it, and determined that yes, this is what's causing my problems.
yeah,
And then started using it much more sparingly at a much lower dose, power, much lower power. And I respect the device now. But
so
so I've
did
been
you
using
gain
that, I guess.
tolerance over time with it?
No, so I've kind of set on a protocol now where I use it every other day for 15 minutes and I use it right before bed. And it seems to be okay there and I'll keep it there. And I've been using
That
it for
sounds
about a year,
wise.
year
So,
and a
like,
half.
what benefits would it give you from that? Like, in addition to the pain, like, what else do you think it's brought to your life?
Yeah, so the pain relief was quite dramatic. It's definitely helped a lot with that. Um, the other big thing is it helps my sleep so much. So I notice every time I use it, I actually have dreams. And usually I don't dream very much, and I think that's pretty common for patients because we don't reach the deepest levels of sleep, certainly not as frequently as we should. But every time I use it, I have really wonderful, wonderful dreams, which is nice to be able to do that again. So I know I'm getting deeper sleep. Yeah. Other
Yeah,
than that,
that's
though,
interesting. Yeah, I find some supplements that make me dream more. Like when I was on low dose nicotine, I was having more vivid dreams.
mm,
And a lot of the time, I don't have dreams, or they're very upsetting. So
okay. Yeah, it's very common if we don't get deep sleep in this condition for whatever reason. But yeah, other than that, I haven't seen that it's really improved my energy levels too much. I mean, if it has, it's because I'm sleeping better, right? So it's like that, not necessarily that I feel amazing the next day or anything like that. Um, I do have a
yeah,
little bit of anxiety and things like that. I can't say that it's really helped with that either. But sleep and pain relief, it's worth the very expensive price tag for me. Yeah.
okay, that's great. And as you know, there was a couple of questions from a member of my research and support community, and some of those you've already answered in what you've said, but he asked a few others, and I'd be interested to hear what you think. Like, to the extent that you recommend vagal nerve stimulation, what advice would you just give regarding protocols and devices?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to try simply because you have a trial period because these are very expensive devices and I know most patients can't afford them. But if you can at least try it for a month for free, I think that's great. So I would definitely recommend starting slow and going low and slow, like all patients do with every treatment, right? We need to be very careful with these. Don't crank it up all the way and don't sit with it for 30 minutes right away. So just kind of see how you do 10, 15 minutes at a lower power. Usually when I turn it on, I turn it up to I can just notice it. And once I start to feel it, I turn it up maybe 1 or 2 notches more, and that's it. So it's not like I'm putting it up as high as I can tolerate, but just like noticeable. Because we don't need to zap it, as much as possible. So yeah, and there's no real set protocol on this, which is what we need, and hopefully we have some more research to elucidate that. But less is more, I think, with this, and it's really nice to maybe combine it with other types of modalities like meditation or breath work or something like that to have perhaps a synergistic effect. But again, like there's so much more we need to learn about this technique.
Yeah, I mean, what you're kind of alluding to there is, even the manufacturers aren't giving guidance, and there's not maybe a lot of guidance out that exists. So we're kind of left to our own devices, as it were. I mean, is there any like doctor or some kind of professional out there who you think does give very good advice on on how to use this technology that would be useful for patients to know about, to save them having to reinvent the wheel, as it were?
I don't actually know anyone in particular, certainly nobody here in Germany, but it's a little more popular in the US. But there's starting to be like a general shift, I think, in very standard traditional medical practices where this is kind of being recommended for everybody with POTS, which I think is great. And we're going to get more research using this for POTS in particular. And then hopefully we can get a more set protocol.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like I knew there was that paper that did look at its use in POTS patients, and they actually measured some autoantibody levels before and after the treatment, and they actually had gone down. And similarly, their heart rate situation had improved. So there's obviously some connection, and it's definitely worth exploring.
Yes, yeah, it's promising. I think it's one of the more promising treatments that we have out right now, and it's pretty safe. I mean, the side effects that you do have it are pretty mild, and of course, if you overdo it, you can return to baseline by just not doing it anymore. So it's one of the safer, more promising treatments moving forward.
This video is sponsored by Turney, the new artificial intelligence sidekick designed specifically for a select group of illnesses, including ME-CFS and long COVID. Now, Turney is not another ChatGPT. Instead, the platform has indexed pretty much every single paper, every single conference, every single transcript from a YouTube or podcast discussion in relation to ME-CFS and long COVID from the last 10 years. So when you ask Turney a question, you really get a very detailed answer from a wide variety of sources, which allows you to make the best possible decision for your own health. It is just $2 a week, but you can get a further 10% off using the code Patrick10. Please follow the links down in the description box below. The first 3 weeks are entirely free.